Welcome to Atlanta Tarot. This is the tarot forecast for Capricorn for the month of March, including late February 2026. So welcome, Capricorn. We are currently in the zodiac sign of Pisces. So the element being water, we have lots of emotional business going on. Getting in touch with your emotions, how you feel about things, whatever needs to be resolved comes to the surface. You may not particularly like it, but this is the time in Pisces time where we have to kind of acknowledge what's coming up. So using your intuition rather than your logic and your brain to guide you through this 4 weeks. Capricorn, you are in your third house of communication, which also can incorporate studying, learning new things, learning how to communicate effectively with work, with your partner or your family, friends, all that sort of thing. It's interesting because one of the other things mentioned in the third house is siblings and neighbours, which is very interesting because the communication with these two entities can go wild sometimes, as we know. Neighbours and or siblings, we know how sometimes things can get really sort of emotional. So it's interesting that this is also an attribute of the third house. So energy around, we have the 7 of Swords. So there's jealousy around you and a bit of deceit. So there's opposing factions here. Now this is air signs, so air signs are about logic, using your brain to sort of sort things out, which, especially in the water signs, it's not particularly helpful. But just be aware that the 7 of Swords might be affecting you, or sort of people trying to sort of, they're threatened by you in some way or another is what I'm getting. So you need to sort of blow past that and just go, okay, this is the way it is. I am just going to let my emotions or my gut run the show. Don't give it any air, so to speak, Capricorn. So let's go and find out what's going on for you guys. I hope it's really a good time for you just to sort out these things, especially, you know, in the workplace too. We can often get these horrible incidents of communication, confusion, other people's jealousies, whatever, sort of coming in to try and disrupt your Capricorn goodness. Okay, where we are right now. 6 of Wands, ongoing success, Capricorn. Things going really well for you, which doesn't surprise when we've got the 7 of Swords. So it's obviously saying straight away, well, you are doing well. So naturally there are factions within whatever environment you're in work or whatever, family can be as well, that are sort of feeling quite envious, jealous of you. It's more the negative. It's not, envy is the positive, jealousy is quite negative. Okay, so let's see what brought that on. This amazing doing really well and ongoing success is influenced and challenged at the same time by this card, Knight of Wands. So very much that immature energy of certain people, one certain person actually, is really like in there and they're going fast, they live fast lane type of life. It kind of doesn't amount to much though. They're very sort of in your face, but they sort of accelerate everything. Everything's sort of fast moving and there's a bit of ego attached to that, Capricorn. So I hope that sort of proves to you what's going on and where it's coming from. Won't apply to all of you, but also Knight of Wands can mean like travelling, short trips here and there, things going on like that where you're sort of on the move a little bit more. which is good in a way too. Nothing like a change of scenery. So that's the other aspect of the Knight of Wands. Okay, let's look into the background and see what's happening there, and what still holds influence today. The World. So the end of a cycle. So you've come to the absolute finish of a cycle. You're ready for a new cycle to begin. So this kind of business that we've just chatted about is really much influenced in that. So it's sort of saying, come on guys, look, get your act together. Don't be buying into other people's chat or behaviours, because it's really coming from, you know, just, it's empty vessels make the most noise, really. So excellent with the World sitting there. It's all about just getting on and preparing yourself for the new cycle that's coming in. And there is, believe you me, when you get the World, you can say that particular struggle or series or whatever of your life is done. So let's move to the next. Recent influences, a Nine of Swords, fear for fear's sake. Yeah, don't buy into it. Once again, it's a Swords card, so it's all about talk, it's all about chat, it's very empty. And fear for fear's sake, which means, you know, you're just fearful, you're in your head too much, Capricorn. And I notice this has been a theme for you guys recently, the last year or two, because you do very well and you are very committed to what you do. So of course, when other people start talking, or you feel this opposition or this jealousy or this threaten, people who feel under threat often give off the vibe of, you know, it's you, it's not them, it's a bit gaslighty-ish. Lack of sleep as well comes with the Nine of Swords. So just try to really, you know, get into your more physical side and get on with doing positive things when you're feeling that energy, or just move away from it and just say, okay, here it comes, I'm not buying into it, thank you. Okay, let's see the lesson you'll be learning. Six of Pentacles, beautiful, sharing, 50-50, things going really well for you. The balance is there, the harmony is there. Financially, it's a great card for ingoings and outgoings. It sort of seems to say that you're kind of doing really well balanced, and this can also apply to your relationships. The Capricorns kind of need that kind of balance, and we all do, but really they more so because they are so focused on status and outcome. Lovely card though, giving and taking in equal measure, in other words, short version. Okay, let's move into what's happening that you're not really, oh no, sorry, near future. I'm ahead of myself. Another air card, Four of Swords. Once again, step back, have a bit of a rest, have a bit of a speculate on what's going on, or not speculate, just sit back and watch the world go by, literally, and rest your mind and just think, okay, this is what's going on, I kind of understand it. It does come from a place of fear or threatened, or being threatened, people feeling threatened, and so just sit back and watch the world go by. Don't buy into anything particularly. It's time to sort of just chill for a bit, especially in the mental. We're always talking with the Swords about mental energy. Okay, let's move on to what's happening that you're not realizing. Four of Pentacles, hoarding emotions, hoarding money, hoarding things, hanging on to things, not being able to let go of things. And it's another four, so it's sort of consolidation. It's like, yeah, well, this is always there, and there's a sort of insecurity behind the Four of Pentacles, because we do hang on to things, and we often do as human beings, just hang on to grudges and grievances. Old past history plays a lot into this card. Not feeling good enough, so therefore we sort of rake in and keep and hoard. Because that provides a security for us. So there you have that. So as I always say, letting go is easier than hanging on to it. That's easier said than done. I always say chant that as well. But it's just old. It's almost something that we all carry with us. It's from the past, childhood maybe, something, but there's feelings of worth in there that we're still kind of grappling with. Therefore we do tend to hoard money, to hoard feelings, just store up stuff and hang on desperately to that. Okay, let's see how others see you. This will be interesting, Capricorn. 3 of Cups. Celebrations, doing really well. Oh my God, yeah, doing really well. Having really sort of come to a point with the 3 of harmony, of a foundation, emotionally doing quite well. So really kind of these 3 here really, that's gone, non-negotiable. This is good. It can also mean pregnancy for some of you who are into that. That's your thing at the moment. Starting a family, whatever. It can talk about that. It can talk about a marriage as well. Or perhaps you're just people are sort of saying, oh, you've been together a long time, when are you going to tie the knot? All that kind of thing. But overall, it's a celebration of good foundations, emotionally doing well. Let's move on. Positive feelings. And we another 3 of Wands, doing really well. Great foundations here, Capricorn. So you really, emotionally good foundations, progress-wise, action-wise, good foundations, building, expansion and growth coming in. So what more could you want? And notice we've moved right away from the swords and we're moving into much more positive sort of action-packed stuff with solid foundations. Well done. The last card is the outcome. So by the end of this period of Pisces season, 5 of Pentacles. So you might feel like just putting yourself away a bit, or just sort of you're going through. 5 of Pentacles always talks about change that's occurring. So sometimes when we're changing behaviours or changing the way we look at things, doing things, especially on a day-to-day basis with the Pentacles, we may want to sort of not really associate, or feeling a bit like out in the cold because you're actually going through a change. So you're not feeling too social. You're just like, oh, I don't want to go out with those people. I'm working. I've got my plan. I'm really not in the mode of mixing and, having fun, whatever people name it. But it's almost like a time of great change for you in terms of where you're going. And you've already got the 6 down here, so that's the lesson. So naturally the 5 is really important to get back. So it's interesting that there is the lesson, and this is you going through that change to get to the 6, if you see what I mean. It sounds confusing, but I think we'll just put an extra card on that 5 of Pentacles for you, Capricorn, just to sort of get to see what's under the surface. Okay, so we have protection. So yeah, amazing actually. 38. Now, this is a good one. This marker reminds you to protect yourself and be wary of hidden agendas. Are you being too open? Perhaps you don't realise it, but you may find you're a target for others, especially if you're shining brightly. Yet this isn't a time to dim your light. Rather, remember that a spiritual warrior or priestess would always learn how to camouflage him or herself and be armed against potential attack. Hold my peace. That is perfect, and that sort of really sums up this whole reading for you. So just shine brightly and get on with it, Capricorn. Don't worry about the detractors. They'll find somebody else to sort of be, if that's the case. Thanks so much for listening.